That's insane. It's weird to think about, like, that I've let these people, because there's a statistic that, like, if you've had abuse whenever you're younger, you're more likely to fall into like a abusive relationship because you've had abuse from your younger, so your right and wrongs are determined by that, like, or that foundation or whatever, what you allow, what your boundaries are. And then so it's easier to be like, oh, maybe they'll get better, because if your fucking parent or someone is hurting you, or someone that you know and love, then your boundaries start to shift and change. But it's like, no one really talks about that happening with friendships. Do you know that you are more easy and susceptible to, like, manipulative and toxic friendships and abusive friendships, or family relationships?
Because when you're in a friendship, you don't think that, for example, somebody wants sex from you. Say that, because it's like, we're friends. What do friends do? They just do friend things. Like, you know, we're a unit. We do things together. We go to a party, we get ready together, whatever girls do, whatever guys do, you know? So that's why we're less likely to be looking for red flags. I feel like, yeah, well, now I do. I feel like after being in those experiences, I vet people very, like, a lot before they fully become my friend, because I'm, like, trying to think, what are you trying to gain from me? Like, why do you want to be my friend? Especially at this age. But when you're younger, you don't have that, because you've not gone through it.
Everyone.
And then those people, they keep getting kicked out of groups, but they know that they can manipulate again. So they just join in fights. And, like, actually looking back on it, I am so glad that I experienced and learned all those things back then, so then now I can look out for those red flags and prevent it from happening. And it would have been awful if I had to learn those lessons now and, like, get hurt by people I trust and things like that, you know? Whereas at the time, although all of this happened and, like, there was this bitchy girl and things like that, I subconsciously removed myself from that situation. So I became friends with people, like, my mom sent me to this, like, summer camp in Bulgaria, and it was like a summer camp for Russian people. They were, like, fencers. They were there basically training for, like, their competitions that they had coming up. And I became really good friends with them, and I literally just stuck to them. And do you know what? You were saying earlier about the jealousy thing. It was weird, because every time I would come back from Russia, I'd be so happy that I had these friends. Like, I would be telling my friends about them. And they would be raging with me.
Really?
They were so pissed off that I had, like, other friends. And they they would bitch behind my back, because I had one friend that would, like, tell me, like, report back. And she told me that they were bitching behind my back, being, like, just making up shit and being pissed off because I had other friends. And now looking back on it, I must have subconsciously removed myself from that group because they were allowing others to treat me like shit.
Like, I find that so odd, because I've never felt jealous over, like, friends. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I always, like, I'm just, like, not a very jealous person in general, like, over really anything. But, like, I've never, like, just like, if you tell me about your friends or something, or, like, when I was younger, like, I would never get jealous about that. Like, it's just so bizarre. Like, so I find that so weird, because I think it's because you would never think like that. You never expect other people to as well, especially when you're a kid.
Like, why are you not just happy for me? I've got friends. Like,
parents teach your kids this, so that, like, you don't get these weird jealous, like, relationships with your children. Like,
must be like a sense of, like, I'm losing grip on my control over this person, or whatever, like, depending on the agenda that they had to be friends with you. Like, if somebody, like Lucy, if you're telling her that you're now becoming best friends with someone else, she's gonna get pissed, because she's not gonna be able to play her games on you
and, like, target that person. So that's exactly what that other girl did with my best friend. Like, just targeted her out of nowhere. Like, and because she couldn't do it in person, she did it fucking cyberbullying in a way. And was like, I'm, like, trying to say she was gonna beat her up and stuff.
Oh my god, keyboard warriors are just next level, because we've experienced a few of those.
And
And
it's stupid.
that's just another level of insecurity. Like, you're literally so insecure in yourself that you're just gonna hide behind the screen and like bully someone online. Fuck that.
It's stupid.
Embarrassment.
Say that to my fucking face.
I know. At least we could try and fight it out, but
I had this like kind of like epiphany because I knew we were going to be talking about this, and I had this like kind of realization because of the way that I grew up whenever I was younger. Like, obviously my mom kind of glorified like getting in fights, and she was like never mad at me or anything. Like